Hey everybody, it's Doug Mystic Eye here, getting ready to brave another adventure into the deep, engrossing game of Myth. Now, I did a test run a while back, not that maybe last week or so, and I posted it so that people could give me feedback because the rules are complicated in the game, and as I suspected, I got quite a bit of feedback. So first thing I'm going to do, one of my missions here is still to help people understand the game. The game is complex. Now there's starting to be some great videos up. Undead Viking, Rada runs through. Everybody's doing some good stuff. It's awesome. Waiting for Watch It Play to do one too. So maybe they'll do a play session of it. That would be awesome because I love their work. But I thought I'd give it another run, see what we do here. So the first thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk about the characters we're using and all the resources I have gathered to have a smooth running game. Now the other thing we did is I played a couple times with my game group and my family, and in my gaming group we did one of the big scenarios is kind of like a marathon. I think it was the first big scenario in the book, 3 acts. We never completed the first act, but it took us, I guess we played for several hours, and in that I took some notes and realized what we did wrong there as well. And I think this is one of those games that, kind of like Arkham Horror, where if you're trying to do a playthrough, especially by yourself, it's not going to be perfect because it's a little wonky rules-wise. It doesn't mean it's not a good game. It's actually a really fun game, and my gaming group agreed. It's really fun. So what we're going to do today is, like I said, I'm going to go through the scenario we're playing. I'm going to go through the resources, show you the setup, and maybe even take the first turn. But let's get started now. I'll start showing you first the characters we're going to be playing and some of the rules behind those. So the first character we're going to talk about is the soldier. Now, this is the soldier's medal token that came with the Kickstarter. It's pretty slick. It's a little harder to read with the light sometimes, so I also have their regular token there in case I'm struggling to read it, though I doubt I'll need it too much. So I know a lot of the symbology on it already, so we're okay there. But I wanted to go over some things. So the starting stuff for the soldier is the fireplace poker, the glorious fireplace poker, the powerful pot lid shield, and the adventurer's gear, which increases vitality by 1. We'll talk about the symbols if you're watching the other videos or read the rules, so you'll know what these symbols mean and how they work. These two are on these cards are rage symbols. When you roll fate dice, if you roll those, you get to take the special action on them. The soldier has a special ability. His shtick, I guess, is called rage. And what you can do a lot of your cards, let me see if I have any, are fueled by rage, actually. See if I have one that says it. And of course I'm not going to now that I need it. Okay, yeah, I don't have any right now that say, X number of rage gives you this. But how you get rage is you simply take the card off the top of your deck and you place it down in the action slot. Now remember, as we do things, we're going to increase in threat. This is the threat track right here. Will increase as we take actions, as we move, as we attack. Well, actually, as we do damage, we'll increase threat. As we move and play cards, we're likely to increase the darkness, but we'll get into that. So we're going to increase threat when we go after enemies. And one of the primary ways you reduce threat is along the action board. For every spot that you don't fill it up during a hero cycle, you're going to reduce your threat by 1. So if I'm playing a lot of rage cards, if I fill these slots up with rage cards, which is simply, I don't look at the card, I just place it here, and by the way, I can do that whenever I want to build up rage, but during a hero cycle, so I could fill up 3 spots and do a massive attack at the end. But the problem is I won't reduce any rage at all, and that could be bad because there's bad negative effects if your rage is at 10. and it also might be taking a good card out of my deck. So that's how you manage the soldier. He's got a lot of massive attacks that are fueled by his rage, but you have to be careful how you use that rage. I've already taken, now each deck, remember to do this when you start, but each deck of hero cards, until you've earned them, also has these advanced cards, these ones with the green symbols here, and you need to remove those from your initial deck when you first start playing, because you will not be, you have to earn those through gameplay. You don't get them right away. So that's the soldier, and he's got lots of neat attacks. You'll see them as we go. But again, his major power is threat. He does start with 7 vitality, and the adventurer gear gives him another one. So he's in pretty good shape there. And then we're going to go on to the next character, which I'm going to play. A lot of people have been asking to play the Brigand because there's some confusion around those rules, and I've read a lot of stuff on it, so we'll see if I can get it right. But let's go to the Brigand's character card over here. Now the Brigand's shtick or tactic is to go into shadows. So here's the shadow token, and actually I got lucky on my first draw. Did draw one with the darkness, which it's an ongoing, which allows the rogue to go into shadows and move around. There's a lot of things that it says requires that you be in shadows when you attack, move, etc. There's several cards that do that in his deck. Yeah, and some others that don't, but a lot of them do. And when he's in shadows, he is basically invisible unless he's next to a melee attacker. You know, if I scroll the board, if he's right here, these ones do get a chance to notice him. One of his items, though, however, this blanket here, does allow him to, and you notice it doesn't require a roll, it just is what it is. It adds 1 target number, TN, to the enemy's chance to spot him when he's next to them in shadows. When he goes in the shadows, you take his miniature off the board and you replace it with the shadow token to represent him moving around in the shadows. He's a really neat character. One of the other guys played him in our big session, big gaming group session. He was a lot of fun. So those are going to be our heroes, and the Brigand is what you think he is. He's a sneaky guy, hides in shadows, but can actually do massive amounts of killing. It's pretty unbelievable. And through that, we're going to gain treasures. You know, yeah, we're going to gain treasures and items, and leading into that next, I'll talk about the darkness board very quickly. So this here is the darkness board. Now, when we take actions, so for example, and I've gone through this before, but I think it deserves reiteration, this is a good card to use. This Devastate attack. If I take this action, the up arrow to the right is an action. If you have one that has a okay, both. That could be, this one could be used as an action or a reaction, and this one is actually, with that circle around it, is an interrupt. But getting back to the point at hand, if I were to take this action here, this symbol down here tells me that it requires 2 action points. Now, action points increase this track. So right now we don't have any, but if I was to play that card, it would go up to 2. Okay. When it goes up to 6, we're going to interrupt play at that moment in time, and we're going to draw a card from the darkness deck. That's going to do a number of things depending on what's happening on the board. So let's say, for instance, that there are layers on the board. Now, somewhere in that cycle, they'll spawn, usually at the end of the cycle, on the card. And you know what? I'll show you a card. I'll just shuffle them back up. This is one of the cards. So you can see this is from the Terror with 1,000 Legs Darkness deck, which is the only one available right now. But it says if a hero is surrounded by 5+ monsters, those monsters receive -2 target number to attack. That's the event. That means it's easier for them to hit you. The threat penalty, a mini boss appears. That's if you have someone on the board with a threat of 10. So you want to avoid that. Then it has the activation order: minions, captains, mini boss, and then the spawn type. Now what that means is when they spawn, that's a layer. If there is no layer, then that just doesn't happen. And then to check it, before you draw that card, you're going to check to see if any heroes are in threat range. So For instance, if we look at our basic grubber, it's a goblin basically, they have a threat range of 4. And their priority is threat, proximity, and rage. So with that threat range of 4, you're going to add that number to the threat total of the characters, and you're going to basically count hexes. So let's say he's at threat 0 right now. 4, he's not in range of this minion. So if neither of the heroes are in range, then there will be no activation of the darkness, and we'll move on. However, let's say for the sake of discussion that the soldier's at 3, well, that now puts him well within range. All of the minions of that type will activate, and we'll draw a card, and we'll do what the card says. So that gives you a little idea how the darkness runs. Now, of course, if we run out of cards in the darkness deck, we're going to reshuffle them and restock them. Some quest cards in that have a timer. Use that as a timer, like you have to kill X number of creatures before that deck runs out, etc. But in this case, in the scenario we'll be playing up front, we won't have that. In addition, the tile itself has some icons on it, and on those icons it designates that this board that we're on, this realm board, has 5 treasures. So those 5 treasures are here, and there's circumstances where if we kill, for instance, 3 creatures in 1 attack, or we kill a mini-boss, captain, or boss, it's going to drop a treasure, or we disarm a trap, I think. I have to go look at that one. But there's lots of circumstances that you can do, or destroy a layer, sorry, not disarm a trap. You destroy a layer, you drop a treasure. Traps have their own very specific rewards. When that occurs, that a treasure drops, and you can go pick it up, and you get a random treasure draw, which will lead me to the next thing I want to talk about. Okay, so this is our bowl of treasures. Now, right in here, there's basically, in the game, you'd see white treasures and green treasure tokens in here. You see the silver shields and the copper helmets. There's also gold swords. Now, in the non-Kickstarter version of the game, these are cardboard tokens, but in the Kickstarter game, we got these really cool coins, and I'm going to use this bowl. I'll just not look in it, shuffle it around, and draw one out, and we draw treasures. So when one of those treasures drops on the tile and we go pick it up, we're going to get to draw one of those. That's how you get treasure. Now, let's see, what else can we do? Let's talk about the tiles now. I'm going to move our rogue out of the way just so I can show you what a tile looks like. Now again, some of you watching have probably already seen this, but I don't know if you can watch this stuff enough on this game, because there's so many little nuances. I think you want to get some muscle memory in it and be able to just instantly remember what you need to do. Anyway, each tile, and the tile size is important too, has a number of icons on it that tell you how you're going to stock that, or how you're going to interact with that tile. Now, most of the time, unless specified in the quest you're doing, you're going to do the quest, and you're also usually going to do what's on this tile. Okay, so for instance, we have here we can choose a trap or a quest. Now, a quest in those cases is usually a chapter quest if you're playing a story quest already, or you could choose to play something more deeply. Now, I chose a trap, and I'll just pan up for a minute. That right there is the trap, and I rolled it, and it was called the Whirlwind of Steel, and that's going to run around the board and attack the players until, it's actually a really nasty trap. It's going to attack the players until it's disarmed, and it's pretty hard to disarm, so we may have to exit the board, leaving the trap intact after we kill the enemies that are on it. So that's the trap. Now, the next thing on the icons here, this one here means layer. Now you notice that in this case it has a question mark. That means it's up to us. We can place a layer, or we don't have to. Now, in the scenario we're going to be playing, the story scenario, it did not require a layer on this tile. Now, I put the other tile. Normally you lay the tiles out as you cross over to them, but that's the next tile on our, up here is going to be the next tile on our mission. I put up there just for visual effect. And on that one we will have 2 layers guaranteed because the story says to do so. So that's layers. Now, it has a question mark, means we get to choose. I chose none for this tile, just to get us started. It says that there are 2 hunting packs. Hunting packs can, and again, there's a lot of freedom of choice in this game for us, the player. That makes it difficult for some people because you want things, a lot of people want things to be very structured. This is not. So we can choose. I mean, there's structure, but you get some freedom in that, a lot of freedom in the choices. So we get to choose. We can have we have to have 2 hunting packs. They can have between 3 and 8 creatures, so I chose to do 2 sets of 3 for our hunting packs that are on the board. The next icon is the amount of treasures, which I pointed out to you. I put the treasures on the darkness board. There are 5. 6 is the amount of gold that we can get from the tile if we clear the tile and move on. And if we clear the tile, including disarming the trap, a merchant will appear that will sell us goods. Now, one of the reasons I wouldn't mind clearing that trap is because of that. That can be very valuable, especially if we gather gold from treasures and clearing the tile. Lots of value there. So hopefully we'll get to do that. And the Brigand does have, I believe in their deck, I haven't gone through the deck completely, they have the ability to do that. Now, next thing I'm going to talk about, now each tile is different, by the way, as far as those icons go, and they have different features and functions based on the size of the tile. You can also put some other things on the tiles that have different effects. Layers are one of them. You'll see that later. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you is the resources that I have gathered to play this game. If you try and play it with just the rulebook, you're kidding yourself. Ain't going to happen. But let me show you at least the current rulebook. I believe there's going to be an updated PDF rulebook available on the Merc site pretty soon. But let's talk about the resources I've gathered. So outside the rulebook, which I have right here, this is really the next most important resource that you're going to need for the game. The unofficial errata FAQ version 0.2, gathered by Forn on BGG. I would highly go download that and print it out and have that handy. It's very, very valuable. Now, again, it is unofficial, so some of the things in there, I believe, now, so it'll tell you when it's been formally stated by the company or when it hasn't. But so far in reading it, it seems like it's really well put together, and all the information you need is pretty accurate, or very accurate, at least under the current set of circumstances. Now, the manufacturer may come out and contradict some of this, and then this will get updated. Right now it's on version 0.2. Now, the next thing I downloaded from the official site. It's the little Myth Setup Guide. Highly recommend this as well. It talks about how you get things going. Then this was helpful too, very helpful. This is the Myth. Now these can be gotten from the official site. The Myth Setup and Gameplay Example, very useful. Highly recommend that one as well, and read through it and read the example of gameplay. It's helpful. There is if this is your first time playing, and I did this in my test run, there is a starting quest that gets you going. I would do that as your test. And there's even more. Yes, there is more. I have this little Kickstarter rules guide that I found on the internet. It's basically the rule book, but if you want something smaller to pass around and it doesn't have a lot of graphics in it, a lot of images, that's a good resource. And then the last 2 things I'll show you are, let's see, here they are. There is a rules summary guide that's up there that's just a Word document that's pretty good to flip through. This isn't as useful as the unofficial FAQ. And then this is a card errata. Very useful. It describes cards in some detail. I highly recommend that. So those are the things, if you're going to sit down and play this game with yourself, by yourself or with a group of people, I highly recommend you have all of these tools. It will make your enjoyment of the game much greater, and you'll feel like you're actually playing it correctly. If you try to do it just based on the rules themselves, you will be in some hot water, and you'll run into things going, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to do that. Also, watch the videos out on the internet. I know it seems like a massive investment in time just to play a game, but the game's fun. It's worth it. It's worth doing. And as the company moves along, there will be more published for this, and it may get easier, and people come up with very creative ways, maybe an app or something that can help you run the game process. So, guys, the last thing I want to talk to you about is our scenario. So, I was going to also go into how you move, how you play cards, but you're going to see that during gameplay, so I'm not going to bother with that. but we're going to be playing a scenario called the Mad King. As you can see, there's some text up there, and I'll just read that to you. It says, "And so it has come to this. The Hermit King has returned, leading an army of dark creatures. They have taken up refuge in the once mighty Haldor." I almost said Hodor. Anyway, the raised castle, long cursed, is said to be the home of a fire drake. Smoke rises from the ruins, and the walls are being rebuilt. If the darkness is to be pushed back, denied a foothold amongst the free, the faithful must rise up and stop the king driven to madness. And we're going to be playing Act 1, Circle the Wagons. It says the first course of action is to create a diversion. Destroying their supply chain will do the trick. It is rumored the supplies are being sent through the overgrown forest to the south, and the way is guarded by hundreds, if not thousands, of grubbers. The setup is we're going to have these 12 by 12 maps, and they're going to have wagons on them for us to destroy. We need to destroy the Hermit King supply wagons. We get some rewards. You can see we get some rewards there. We get to remove a white or basic treasure from our treasure resources and add 2 blue ones or rare ones, which is nice, and then we get to draw one for each hero at random. Pretty good. And that's just for completing this map. There are 3 pieces to that story. We're only going to be playing the first one in this right now, and we'll see if we have a good run. We'll keep going and continue on. So that is basically how we're going to start. Again, I drew a trap for the first tile, so there won't be any chapter quests or quests on that tile, though I may draw one on the next tile just to see what we get. They seem to be easier to complete on the larger tiles. When we were playing with our large group, we had a really fun one, I thought it was fun anyway, where this guy is trying to create an anti-venom, and he actually gives you a vial and needs you to become poisoned by these crawlers. So you need to let him attack you and poison you, and then the person next to you has to draw pus from the wound into the vial and give it to him, and if you can complete that, he gives you some potions, one of them being one that can get rid of the venom. And there's a chain quest. In other words, there's no step in that quest where he comes back and comes up with some great idea to blow up that can destroy a layer, and you help him do that. It's like a little mini potion hand grenade. It was so fun, and we were playing along with another story, so we were doing that along with the story we were playing. It was just cool. But we're going to get started next video. Again, I wanted to post this again, just kind of an update to rules. I did this the first time, but I've had so much more clarification, and I wanted to show the resources that I'm using to run this session, and the resources that I recommend you use when you are playing. Also, I would check back frequently to see when that FAQ is updated. So that being said, again, the FAQ for those who are watching me purely on YouTube are on Board Game Geek and can be found under the Myths section, under the files. Now, I want to thank you, and I've been doing these videos for not that long, actually, just, I don't know, less than 5 months, I think, 4 or 5 months. And in that time, I've grown to, I just hit 300 subscribers, so thank you for that. I appreciate that. And I'm continuing to grow this out and do these playthroughs and learn and have fun and build up the equipment and tools that I have to do this. So thanks for allowing me to do it and playing along with you these fun games and demonstrating. It's great stuff. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm going to get this posted, and I will see you on our first turn.